Hello, and welcome to Old Trafford on Tap. I'm Jack.
And I'm William.
Welcome to the show. William, how are you?
Not too bad, man. I'm good. You?
Good, I'm excited. First
I'm also
podcast.
excited. Yeah, monumental moment.
Monumental. Quick shout out as well. I remember just before we started this that it's Mother's Day back in Ireland, so happy Mother's Day if my mom ever listens to this.
Sure, we wouldn't be here without them, man.
It's a fair point. So yeah, we're thinking for our first podcast, probably start off with like our earliest United memory or something, get a bit of validity to why we're here. We obviously both love United and wanted to start this podcast with a while. Then we're going to talk about kind of the two stars, shining lights that we got in January there with the January transfer window. Talk a bit about Pogba, big situation, and finish up with the table and all. Obviously everything paused now because of the worldwide pandemic and all that, but I suppose a good time to create a podcast and get some content out there.
Are you nervous, Jack?
Yeah, a bit nervous. Are you?
The butterflies are floating around in my stomach, alright, man.
Nice one.
Everyone's a United fan till they go on camera, and they have to talk that talk.
Yeah, look, we'll see now. I've always been a better talker anyway, so look, the dynamic in the debates will be good, man. Do you want to start with your earliest memory?
I actually looked it up, Jack, and I got the dates. So the earliest memory for me is actually a negative one. It was the volley Thierry Henry scored in a 1-0 victory over Manchester United in the 2000-2001 season, which we ended up winning. It was our first game against Arsenal in the first half of the season. And Henry, the handsome fucker, got a beauty of a goal.
Is that the one where it went over top corner, over Barthez?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually looking up my dates as well. I want to see whose memory is earlier. So April 24th, 2002. And then the other one I remember is Wiltord.
2002, they won the league at Old Trafford.
Yeah, that's interesting. So basically, my first memories are both negative as well, really. And you're a year ahead of me, so you remember a year ahead of me.
Well, that's my first memory, but I wasn't in on that season. Like, I don't remember watching that season. I just remember that specific moment.
Yeah, sure. Look, William, that's how we remember flashes from our childhood.
Yeah,
so
I
have two memories. I don't know what date. I'd say they were fairly close. I don't know. What you think Wiltord equalising in the gold Arsenal kit?
No, it wasn't equaliser. He won it.
I thought it was 1-1 and they won the league.
They won the league.
But you think that was 2002?
That was the 01-02 season.
Yeah, okay. And I think I looked up there the Bayer Leverkusen game. Do we lose the semi-final Champions League? Okay. So my two earliest memories, I don't know which came first, so they must have been very close. One is the Wilt going down to my godfathers with my dad, Brian. Shout out. Going down to my godfathers in Kinsale in West Cork, Ireland. And watching that game, Dad and Owen drinking. Obviously, I was drinking 7-Up or Sprite at the time. I can't remember, but I just remember my dad going mad, like just being really, really angry. And Wiltord sliding on his knees after he scored in the gold Arsenal kit. And then my other memory, which is like this one really sticks out to me as a United fan, is the second leg. I don't know, do we draw or lose against Bayer Leverkusen? Or else we might have won, but it wasn't enough.
It was 2-2 in the first leg. They were away, and then it was 1-1 in the second leg.
Yeah, so I remember that's why I got so upset. So I remember watching it downstairs again with Dad in my home house. And I remember Mom was up in bed. And I remember watching it and I didn't understand aggregate at the time. And I remember, so we drew, and I thought it was going to go to penalties or extra time or whatever. And Dad had to explain to me why we were out, and I just didn't get it. I thought it was so unfair, and I started bawling, crying. And I went up to Mom, and I think the date there I looked up was April 24th, so it was the day before my birthday. So I think it ruined my birthday as well or whatever. So it all came together, and Mom couldn't get why I was crying so much. And I remember being up in my parents' room, and Dad came up after me, and he was laughing because I was crying so much. But that's we're family United fans, and it's a big deal.
Roy Keane scored in that game.
Yeah, that rings a bell as well. I remember, like, again, it's all flashes, but I remember Roy Keane very specifically from that game as well. So obviously, you have a better memory than me, man. A year older and wiser, but yeah, they're my my two
I also
real.
have Alzheimer's coming at me from both sides, you know. So
Yeah,
I'm
look,
like,
we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. And brought us to today. Yeah, just really excited to do this podcast, man.
I am too, Jack. You know, we've been talking about it for a while, you know, and we want to build the empire, so we're excited to start it.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to take your shots at the other United podcast now, or will we leave that for a couple of episodes?
What are the United podcasts?
Yeah.
There's more out there.
There's more out there. Yeah, look, we're coming for them.
They can come for us.
The rest of the season, what are you thinking about it, man? I suppose we better call out first, actually. Yeah, like, it's a good time to do the podcast, like I said. The coronavirus and everything's paused. We're here now. You're in London. I'm in Chicago. Two Irishmen conquering the world. But it's a crazy time, man. We'll remember this in 20 years.
Yeah, it's a sickening time. We've never experienced anything like it. Not to get too morbid or anything, but it's definitely different. And of course, football being absent definitely is something new for all of us.
It's so sickening.
March, it's extremely sickening.
Almost
selfish to say it, but it is extremely sickening.
My roommate was saying yesterday that, like, if Burnley and Watford was Super Sunday tomorrow, how much you'd gobble that up? Like, you're just desperate for football.
I might leave you gobble that up, man. I'm not. I don't know if I'm. Today's Sunday.
Today is Sunday. We had this
Monday night football. Yeah, I'll definitely let someone else gobble up. Who did you say? Watford and Burnley?
Watford and Burnley, yeah.
I can miss staring at Sean Dyche on a Monday night, you know?
Actually, I think you should tell that Louis Saha story, but that's a good heartbreaker as well to give yourself validity as a United fan.
The Louis Saha story.
Yeah.
So yeah, lads, I guess. Well, Jack, who was your favourite player? First of all, we'll go with you growing up. Favourite United player?
Oh,
Or favourite United players?
There's a few names that jump out, lad. I did love Louis Saha as well, but I'll give him to you. Growing up, I loved Scholes. Always loved Scholes because he's small and I'm small. Loved Rooney. I love Tevez. Obviously, that's a controversial thing to say, but I adore Tevez. Ronaldo, kind of growing up, and that's a bit later. And I was a massive Vidic. I adored Vidic as well.
Who would you say you played like the most?
Played like the most. Right now, if I'm playing now, there's no doubt I'm Cristiano. Like
Cristiano.
Yeah, but I also I can quickly just revert into a Paul Scholes role as well.
Yeah, I'd look more like Cristiano. I'd probably play more like Scholesy.
You've got a bit of Eric, a bit of Jemba to you, lad.
A bit of Jimba, a bit of Evra, and a bit of Cristiano.
Mm.
They're all good players. What players didn't you like?
Never warmed to Juan Sebastian Braun. Never liked them. Don't know why. What other players didn't I like? That's a good question. Like, if you're a United player, I love you no matter what, but didn't want. Oh, Anderson.
You didn't like Anderson?
No, I adored Anderson. I adored Anderson. He's one of my favorite players. And I adored Berbatov. I adored Berbatov. Players I didn't like as much. I don't know, lad. Beckham was before. I didn't really. He was like before. I barely remember him that well either. A bit.
Actually, sorry to cut across your co-host.
All right.
So you noticed, I don't know if they're doing it, but it broke like last month that they're introducing a Premier League Hall of Fame.
Oh, great topic.
Okay. So I heard the way that they're going to do it is they're going to put in 2 players at the start.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just assume if they're going to build this up, I think it's a great idea, first of all, because the NFL Hall of Fame is obviously, that's like, it's a real, such an honor to be inducted into that. So I think it's definitely something that should be there for FIFA, let alone the Premier League. But let's just take the Premier League. Let's say they're doing 2 players a month. Okay, they induct 2 players in every month.
I thought it's 2 players a year.
Is it 2 players a year? Because then it's going to take ages to fill out. But
That's
is
what
it
I
2
thought as
players
well,
a
but I
year?
thought that was going to add to the prestige. I don't know. I'd have to look up the specific.
It definitely adds to the prestige, but at a retarded turtle's pace. So let's say, because the player there, I had this discussion there with an acquaintance recently. You know, one of my off podcast people. Dimitar Berbatov. Does he get into the? I'm not revealing who. Dimitar Berbatov. Does he get into the? If he does, first of all, and win. Because when I first was asked that question, I think I actually asked it to this person, and he told me his answer. He said yes. I said no. And then it ended up, that conversation went that, like, what standard of player gets in? Because if we're putting Berbatov in, you have to put loads of players in.
Dimitar Berbatov, as I understand it, at 2 a year, will never get into it.
At 2 a year, we'll never get into it.
No, because
okay,
even
so
like
maybe just for the sake of the question, 2 a month.
24 a year. Like he might. Okay, then if there's 24 going in a year,
and without doing the maths, it's more just okay. You know that
he might. You say, okay,
yes or no? Does he get in? Does Dimitar Berbatov get into the Premier League Hall of Fame without doing the maths? Like, in 20 years' time.
Okay.
Is Berbatov a Premier League Hall of Fame player?
Well, just on the maths as well, as there's going to be so many players in the next 20 years that'll get in ahead of him if they are like world beaters. Would he get into the Hall of Fame?
So there's some of them too, I'd say.
So there's obviously I loved him, so there's a part of me that wants to say yes, but being completely objective, I think no.
I said no as well, and then whatever, I'm thinking that we kept the same rules as this discussion, and I ended up changing my mind. But I think again, no. I think like how does that Hall of Fame situation work? 2 a month, 2 a year. Just when I asked it instinctively to myself, I just said Berbatov doesn't get in.
We can do a proper show on this. We can do a proper show on this, but I'll need to get the specifics before I argue anymore.
I don't know. That's some would view that as fair enough. Others would view it as a cop out, but I love you regardless.
Out, lad. Hey, I want to hear this Louis Saha story, lad, for the fans.
Lad, I want to say that too, but first of all, can I just throw maybe 5 more players at you and ask you if they get in?
No.
Can I throw one?
Yeah.
Ledley King.
No. Didn't play enough football.
Lad, do you not have a massive urge to just throw out more players, no?
No, not right now.
Okay. That's taking serious discipline by me because it's a sexy conversation.
Louis Saha, lad, United podcast.
Yeah, so favourite players for me, I won't name out the ones everyone loved, just the 3 personal ones, that I almost had a romantic relationship with growing up. Started with me, definitely Ruud van Nistelrooy. Definitely was, I'd say, my first favourite player. I named a fucking pony after him, so serious love. But then my second favourite player, and just the person I look back at with the most love and admiration and romance, as I've just said, Louis Saha. And Jack, this story I'm about to tell, before I tell it, it is like a rom-com.
Without the com.
A rom-com without a rom-suicide, maybe. Yeah, so first ever game I went to, Jack. Will I keep telling the story? All these questions are coming to my mind now about, like, what was your first game?
We got one more story after this. Yeah, I know. We didn't get the first game thing. You say the Louis Saha story, and then we'll cap up with that.
Okay, so I won't say the game, but the first ever game that I did go to at Old Trafford. It was, when was it, Jack? So 2005 or 2004?
2000 and I think it was my 10th birthday, 2005. 2005.
2000. It was the 04-05 season anyway. I don't know if it was 04 or 05. I think it was 05 because I went for my birthday. You did?
Yeah, I went for my birthday as well. Yeah.
Okay. Ryan Giggs scored a quick free kick.
Yeah.
And afterwards, does everyone know like that at Old Trafford? Like if you go to the back of the stadium, like it's very doable to get autographs from all your favorite.
I actually didn't.
I don't. Yeah, I just maybe a lot of people just don't walk around the stadium like that. But yes, if you go to the back where the bus comes in, they sign autographs. And that day I got a couple of autographs. When I got there, I got Edwin van der Sar, Ryan Giggs. Actually, no, I didn't get Van der Sar. That was the next time I went. I got Roy Carroll, Tim Howard, Ryan Giggs, Alan Smith, John O'Shea, and
Shout out to Ireland.
Shout out to John O'Shea. R.I.P. Louis Figo, says you. Danny, it was either Chris Eagles or was Danny Pugh also at United?
Danny Pugh, I don't remember that.
Danny Pugh, look, both of them
look
are
it up,
relevant. We just called them Player X. But anyway, after the game, I was waiting for Louis Saha to come out. He was the last.
He was at United.
He's obviously a guy who likes getting the hair done, putting the shampoo in. Last man out, we stayed waiting. Me and my dad. He came out. I was 11 years old. I was a fat 11-year-old. Done a lot of work on my weight since. So
you're a fat 25-year-old.
I must have been an obese 11-year-old, man. But handsome cunt all the same. Myself and Louis Saha. He comes out, Jack, and Fat William there is waiting with his dad. I had the white United jacket on. White Man United hat and some gorgeous fat cheeks on me, waiting for Louis Saha to present himself. He presents himself, and the first bit of luck you need is that the player is actually going to sign autographs, because some players, Gary Neville, Phil Neville, famously bad at signing autographs. They just come out, go into the car, and go home. Which, Jack, some people might mind. Get home to the wife, have a cup of tea, have biscuits. Louis Saha, nah. Louis came out and he's going to sign autographs for players. Okay. So he starts doing the rounds, Jack, and I'm watching him. I'm like, come to me, you motherfucker. Like, come to me, boy. And he was coming. Louis, great guy. You can tell he's always smiling, like just a nice guy. I hope he's not a killer on the side. But
Jesus,
he keeps coming, man. He keeps coming, and he gets to me. And this is my moment to shine. I forget to ask for the autograph because I'm just thinking about the picture. Another question, picture or autograph, which one would you prefer? But we'll leave it for a minute. I'm looking for the picture, Jack, because that's a memory for me. He puts his arm around me. Fat William puts his arm around Louis. Dad camera's up. Dad goes to take the picture. The camera breaks. And it had been acting funny all day, and most of the day, it breaks, but if you keep clicking, it'll take it. Dad kept clicking, and Dad even talking about it,
Before camera phones as well.
Say that again?
Before camera phones.
Oh, man, this is back in people were using potatoes, as they say. Potatoes, shove a battery in it, and Bob's your uncle. Dad's trying. My dad loves me. For all my flawed self, he still loves me. Dad's trying to get that photo to work, and it doesn't. And then I forget to ask for the autograph. And Louis stayed for ages, like, trying to take this photo with me, but there's other fiends there, There was other Fat William, and he had to move on, and I was left lacking, and walked down what's the name of the tunnel where the Munich shit is, that bit of the stadium. It's a tunnel.
Calling us out here now, lad.
I don't know either, lads, so don't be embarrassed. As long as we don't present ourselves as casual Man United fans, Jack, because we're heavyweights. We just don't need to know all the names and shit. But I walked down that tunnel anyway, and I was bawling, crying. An 11-year-old man. It's an old age.
Called Munich tunnel, lad.
Munich tunnel.
It's another name for it.
Yeah, and I'm walking down the tunnel and I'm crying, and I get a poster as a pick me up of Louis Saha, but
it's a heartbreaker.
I'll get him one day, Jack. I'll get him.
We'll get him on this. Or
I'll kidnap him.
Either or. it kind of feeds into the fact that one nugget of our friendship, of our brotherhood, is that we didn't know each other before secondary school, high school. This is a global podcast, whatever. So whatever your form of education is called when you're about 11, 12, 13. So that's when
training camp.
Me and Mr. William became best mates. But before that, when we were both in primary school, the level below that, I don't know. So I was 10, yeah, and you were 11. We both just randomly didn't know each other, but our first United game was the same game. Like you said, Giggs with the quick free kick, 1-0 up. And then Robbie Earnshaw with the equaliser, 1-1. Heartbreaker. But look, it all adds to the story of the United fandom.
You know what's interesting about that game for me, like as much of an icon as Cristiano Ronaldo is, and how much we love him. I actually had to Google recently, did he play in that game? Because I couldn't remember.
He didn't, did he?
He did.
Lad. Yeah.
Ruud van Nistelrooy didn't play either, but he got an award before the game started.
It was a nothing season. We were playing for nothing at the end.
It was a nothing season. So when you fucking Roy Carroll and Tim Howard, man, you know?
Yeah, you were saying players. There may be players that I wasn't too fond of at the time. Remember that? I used to go mad.
If you met them now, you'd be fond of them.
I would, yeah, but like
lads, they might watch this. We've to remember, boy, we're going to be great. Like, so they might, lads, Tim Howard, Roy Carroll.
Hey, to be honest, yeah, moving on. So that's a good way to start it. Actually, I think a good thing to talk about now is, given the time, what month are we in? March. We had a couple of months to. In general, we'll talk about Ale now at the end. That's kind of our closing topic. But in general,
you don't pronounce that either. All you're pure Irish, man. Ale.
Well, that's how the Norwegians would pronounce it. I wouldn't expect you to have the dialect. But the like, I think signing wise, he's getting the right people into the club. Just money aside and all that, he's getting the right people in, right personalities, and that's a big thing for me. I think it's a big thing for you as well. But I just want to focus on the two gentlemen that we got in January, Mr. Bruno Fernandes and Oriana Gallo. We'll start with Bruno. I suppose we signed him in first, and I'll look. I'm a man. I'm victim to a bit of hyperbole. You know, I get caught up in the moment, and I notice. I adore him. I've watched him play now. It's a joy watching him play again, and a big part of it is the fact that our midfield, for so long, and to be honest, I was kind of on the side that people would be saying that, because you're a big midfield fan as well. Like you've said that, and I respect that about you. That you're all about having your midfield.
Former master of it myself. I wouldn't.
Former master. Oh Jesus. Anyway, you're a big fan of it, and I thought that the storyline of our midfield isn't good enough for years. It's just got a bit redundant, and people are just saying it to say it. But like, part of the reason I love Bruno so much and he looks so good is because we obviously have been so lackluster in there for so many years. Like, he just looks a class above, and it's beautiful to watch, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. What's your opinion on Mr. Fernandes?
I love him too, Jack. I do love him. It's been really refreshing to see us play good football again with him in the team. I guess a question I'd have for you is, obviously he's playing. So what, you're smarter with football terms than I am. He plays the number 10 role, yeah?
No, he's playing 8. Well, yeah, so we had this, so 6, 8, 10. So 6 is like a holding midfielder. 8, I think, traditionally is a box-to-box, and 10 would be a pure centre attacking midfielder.
And he's playing the 10, yeah?
He's playing, I don't think we're playing a pure...
Because Fred and McTominay or Fred and player X are behind them, yeah?
Yeah, but he's playing more, I wouldn't say he's a pure 10. Okay. But I get what you're saying.
He plays ahead of the two lads.
Yeah. He's the attacking player. Yeah.
Like, what my thoughts and questions is, we had this discussion, obviously a lot more passionately offline. At the start of the season, I said to you, and I think you ended up agreeing with me, which doesn't always happen. But I said, if we're losing, we'll struggle to score a goal if we're losing. Like, if we're losing, we don't know where a goal is going to come from. Do you remember that conversation? Yeah. Yeah,
you were saying that we can't react.
I would still be worried. 'Cause obviously, Bruno, he's not in that middle of the field. Like, he is more attacking. Like, he's not the player that's going to... I don't know if he's the kind of player that's going to dominate a game. He's still a sexy, flashy player, attacking. And it's all great when we're winning and we're doing what we want to do. But if we're losing, which I think happened in the Everton game, yeah? We went 1-0 down.
Yep.
And we came back 1-1.
Yep.
Like, that game, he scored in that game?
Yeah. That was the one he's shot from about 25 yards, went past Pickford.
I actually didn't get to see that game. I only saw the goals. Did you get to see that game?
No. I saw the extended highlights here on NBC, but that was it. It's about 25 minutes.
Okay, so how do you feel about that? Like, as in, do you think...
I get what you're saying, but I think you're doing a disservice to him.
I didn't disservice the man.
No. Yeah, I know exactly. No, that I know you love him, but I think you're doing...
I don't love him, to be honest. I like him.
You're underestimating. I think you're saying he's too attacking. I think he's got more about his game than you think he does. He's got bite to him, and he can play deeper as well. No, I'm not saying
he's not. Can he play deeper? Like,
yeah, he can.
Do that at Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah. And I think he can play. He could play in a 3. Like, he's never going to be your defensive midfielder, but he could play with 2 attacking midfielders, 2 more. Like, he could play with Pogba, for example. We'll get to Pogba later, but you could play him with Pogba, and the 2 of them could dovetail nicely off each other and both attack.
Dovetail, I like that.
Yeah. Or he can be the sole focal point where you got 2 more defensive fellas. That's kind of the story now with Fred and McTominay or whoever. And then he's kind of your more traditional Cam as well. But I think I don't know where he's better. But I think he can do both. And what I like about him as well, he does have a bit of bite to him. Even the shushing Guardiola, he throws in a tackle.
And we all love that.
We love seeing that. We love seeing that. Even like there was, I think it was first or second game. Like, he was getting it was his first game, I think, and he was getting cheered like every time he touched the ball, and all that, obviously. But he got a massive cheer. There was one time like he just ran into the corner and hit a shoulder kind of thing, and that was the best part of it. So I think I'm really excited for how good he's going to be, and get even just one or two more players around him. I'm really, really excited for him.
I am excited to have him, yeah. But again, I just want to see what it's like, because we've had brilliant patches under Oli before where it seems like we're on the way up. Yeah, and I do believe this could be different. I think this has been a very sexy. What is it? Past 12 games? Is that what it is?
I have 11 in my head. Maybe it's 12 now. Yeah,
11 or 12, whatever. So it's only one apart, man.
Yeah.
I'll just be interested to see what he's like when we're losing games, as in when we go 1-0 down. Because I didn't see the Everton game. When we go 1-0 down, when we go 2-0 down, when we need a goal and the other team is backs against the wall defending,
we have to see it. You're right. We have to see it, and I don't want to get caught up in the moment either. But I'd be very confident he is going to give you what you want to see.
You're starting a Man United team today. A happy Paul Pogba or a happy Bruno? Which one do you take?
Bruno, lad. No, I'm personal. Happy Bruno.
You take ignore the team, just fill in a blank team. You take Bruno ahead of Pogba.
Yep.
I disagree.
Yeah, that's fair. Now we can talk about Bruno again when we get onto the Pogba topic, but let's talk about the cult hero, the guy who just brings a smile. I'm smiling here just thinking about him. You gotta love Odion Ighalo. A beautiful story. What were your thoughts before he came in, when we signed him, and since you've seen him now after about a month?
To be honest, when they were on about signing him, I didn't.
You remember him playing with Watford?
I don't remember, no.
Yeah, so just for a high level thing, like you're diehard United, as we both are, but I'd watch more general football than you would.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. So just the background of that, he had an unreal year in the Championship when they came up and won the league, I think. He got 20-something goals. Then his first year in the Premier League, he got 13 or 15 league goals, something like that. So he had a very good year his first year with Troy Deeney as well.
And then he was doing poor in China, or he had a bad season at Watford?
He had a bad season. I think he got injured as well. And then he left after that, yeah. And now he's doing fine in China, but it's just China, so... people didn't put much mass in it.
He left to get the Chinese money, but
Nothing wrong with it. I'd go to
and
China
then
if
when
I
they
get
got
that money.
Corona, he got the fuck out. Smart man, this Gallo fella.
He is, and it's after pausing Liverpool's parade now.
So yeah, basically to answer your question, when I heard about him, that's what I was hearing. I heard he had a period at Watford where he's banging in goals all around him. Then he suddenly went shit, to put it briefly. He went shit, and then he left for China. So I was, I wouldn't say I was hopeful or unhopeful. I was really just curious. But as soon as I found out he was a United fan and he was this guy who obviously is making a bit of a campaign around it, which is fine. You know, keep scoring and it's fine. We're all rooting for him. But yeah, I just didn't really know what to expect, really, to answer your question. But it's worked out splendidly so far. That goal in the UEFA Cup, my goodness. If we all haven't seen a left foot like that since Van Persie, probably. And he's right-footed. Actually, no, Mason Greenwood as well, as that sexy left foot on him. But yeah, no, I'm extremely happy for him, Jack. What about you?
Actually, no, you just said his name. Van Persie is one of my cult heroes. Obviously, all United fans love him, but I Jesus, the feeling of love I had for him was beautiful. I
think it's funny too with Van Persie that when people remember him, they remember him as a United player.
Yeah, he did 10 years at Arsenal. Like, it's crazy. Do you remember? Shout out Robin Van Persie for this. Do you remember his goal against Charlton? Yellow Arsenal kit, the volley. Oh,
that was when RTE were showing Premier League games at 3 p.m. on a Saturday.
What a goal!
Rest in peace, Bill O'Hurley. You know, Arnold there. Global audience. Look up Bill O'Hurley. Yeah, that's
true. On Orient, yeah, I was really excited. Actually, obviously, his goal in the UEFA Cup was class, but the goal I loved was the one where who do we beat 3-0 at home? It's gone for me. Bruno went back on his right, clipped it over to Juan Mata at the back post. Juan Mata squared it across, and Odion got in there into the net, and it was just a goal where you could see when you watched just Gallo, he like pushed your man out the way, bust his boat to get in there on the 6-yard box and put it in. And I just remember
Watford. That was actually his old team, was it? Was that Watford?
Was it Watford? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Watford. And I just remember thinking, and I love Martial. That's another player we got to talk about, but Martial doesn't score that goal. So I loved that goal. And that's one of the reasons I was really excited about Odion Gallo. So I did remember his time from Watford. I did really like him. But I just knew what he was, like a strong central player in the middle like that. I love players like that because it's something I'm not very good at when I play football. If I play up front, I'm a pure Rashford Martial who wants to drift out, just get on the ball and do the nice flashy stuff. So I really value a player who can be strong, the focal point, like Didier Drogba. I adore Didier Drogba. Like, I wanted to sign him for United so badly. And I really like
haircuts.
So yeah, I was excited when he was coming in. And yeah, people putting expectations on it, like if he can get, because Henrik Larsson, everyone remembers that like genius loan. I think he got 3 goals, but everyone remembers it really fondly because of the goals he got and what he brought to the team when we needed it. So people were saying if Odion can do similar, if he can get 5 goals and chip in, it'll be a successful loan signing. I think he's got 4 or 5 already. And he's just given us something completely different, and I love it. But the main thing you gotta love is that how much he loves United. It's such a simple thing, lad, but when they love United, like he came in, when I saw that, like everyone was going to love him, and then he scored, and just the place is desperate. Like they sucked the ball into the net for him. Yeah, I love him. I've loved the 2 signings. Loved the 2 signings.
And shout out to all of our Nigerian listeners.
Yeah, first Nigerian to play for United. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. Wait, it was Jimba? Where was he from? Cameroon?
He's the first Nigerian. I know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
What was I going to ask there? Do they keep him if they get Aubameyang or Kane in the summer? Do you think they're definitely
one more point, because I want to finish on that quick answer? I also loved his sister passed away last year, and like he did the shirt thing with his sister when he got his first goal, he said he's dedicating all his goals to in her memory and stuff. So the man is just a legend. I love him, and I hope he keeps scoring. I just hope it works out. Now to your next question, you put a caveat in there.
Lad, you're using great words in this podcast, man. Round of applause. Caveat. Oof.
I was going to ask, just straight out right now, is do we sign Odion in the summer? I don't know, is that a better question, or do you want to put the conditions in there?
Well, I think you have to, because if you don't put the conditions, I think you definitely sign him.
You definitely sign him. But like the conditions are there. You're just weighing up the probability that we sign someone else first. You got to do the whole thing in your head and you just give an answer. If you debate next year, so yeah, I think that's a.
They said he's willing to take a pay cut. Which
right now, okay. Right now, if you debate your life savings, we have Odion on the squad next year. Do you bet yes or no?
Yes.
I bet yes as well. Now on to your question. I think it becomes less likely if we splash out on someone else, but I think we can.
I think it'll both happen.
I think it'll both happen as well. I think you're right. Now you mentioned two names, Kane and Aubameyang. That is.
Did I pronounce Aubameyang right?
What'd you say?
Aubameyang, yeah. That's what I said. Like I'm asking.
Yeah.
That's correct.
You're making me double check myself. No, but no, that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah. This is okay. So.
Prince is his first name, is it?
Pierre Patrick. What is his name?
Prince.
Is it?
Purple Rain. That's going to be my nickname for him if we get him. It's not Prince. No, it's not Prince at all.
Yeah, it's Pierre-Emerick. I said Pierre Patrick. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Yeah. So are they the two names that are linked with us the most at the moment for a striker?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so because of the last 5 years, lad, and the massive signings we've got in, I just get scared at the thought of Kane right now, or Aubameyang. Kane less scary than the Falcaos and Di Marias of the world. And also, by the way, I was the biggest, like I have a United shirt with Falcao on the back. The second he was signed, I went all in on him. So we all make mistakes. I still love him, whatever. But Kane is less risky because he's got the English quality or whatever. And he's a known commodity more so. But
lad, if Kane can stay fit, I don't think there's any risk. If Kane, I would love if we got Harry Kane.
We get Harry Kane though, it pushes Rashford out to the left. Like I don't think can you keep Rashford, Martial, and Kane happy? I think Igalo's going to be happy either way. But
I'd say Igalo would be happy working as a steward at United at this point. Rashford, I think Rashford will. Rashford said he doesn't view himself as just a out and out striker. Like he's came out and said that. Yeah. So I think absolutely. And lad, look, I like Igalo. People might think I've agendas. I like Igalo, but Rashford is he loves United too. Let's not forget that he fucking loves United. And I don't think there's any question about keeping him happy. Martial, I think really likes United, but he's a grumpy fucker. We're grumpy fuckers, Jack. So we understand that. Yeah. Obviously, we're not millionaires. We will be. I think Kane as a striker versus Rashford as a striker. I'll bet on Harry Kane every time to get more goals in a season.
But moving, so you think you can keep Martial, Rashford, and Kane and Igalo?
For a season, yes. There's also that possibility we were going to buy Sancho in the summer. So that would mean the top three, my top three once I hear that, even though I fucking love Martial, but my top three when I hear that, I think
Rashford, Kane, Sancho.
Rashford, Kane, Sancho, even though I'd have to think if I think Rashford is better than Martial. Rashford or Martial, blank team.
Rashford.
Blank
and I love
team,
Martial
not
as well.
United, blank team.
Rashford.
You never liked the French.
That's not true. I speak fluent French.
So you know to combat them.
Yeah, I actually French. Just on a woman note, the French language, lad. if a woman can speak French, my days.
Oh, you're saying you like it if a woman can speak French?
Yeah, that is such a gorgeous accent. Anyway, onto Aubameyang. I wish Aubameyang was 24, 25. I adore him. I think he's brilliant, but he's 32, like, I think. So.
And I don't like him, like.
Oh no, I disagree. I prefer.
No, I think he's a good player, but I think he's the kind of guy he'll come in and could cause some shit, like he's doing at Arsenal.
Is he causing shit?
There was rumours a couple of months back, like he wanted to leave.
It's Arsenal, though.
Yeah, I know, but just like
I know what you're saying.
I don't think they'll sign him. I don't think they'll get Aubameyang.
It's the first summer, really. I was about to say I don't think we'll sign Kane, but like there's mumblings coming. There's never been like kind of murmurs really from their side before. Like there's murmurs now that he kind of wants to leave.
Yeah. No, it's an official rumor.
So who do you see him going to?
United.
Yeah, you think United? You're confident on that? And what do you think? Give me a ballpark price tag right now.
I read 200 million, which is fucking terrifying.
Lad,
I read that.
Pounds.
That they're going to go in with 200 million for him. 200 million pounds, yeah.
That's fucking laughable, lad. Okay, realistically, you can.
Is it laughable which this is a complete hypothetical. I don't think it's laughable if you say he's not going to be injury prone at all. I don't think it's laughable then.
No, it's not. I'm talking just true. But the thing I was going to say is, so if he scores, if he comes, like, there's no way. I know we're United money wise. We're just churning out money. But can you get him and Sancho in the same window?
I'd say they could.
Only if they sell Pogba, lad.
I don't think so.
I think you're living in cuckoo land there, yeah? Yeah, I think so. But look, we'll see. Could be proven wrong. So you've no interest in Oba, as they call him?
No, I was actually low-key irritated when I saw that we're rumoured to be after him.
I think the age doesn't make sense for what Ollie's done so far.
I thought Kane was way older too, actually, because when I first heard the Kane thing, I was like, I thought Kane was like 28 or 29.
What is he, 25?
He's 25.
Same age as yourself.
Than me, man.
He's younger than you, yeah.
I have a better beard.
Better belly, says you, what?
Yeah, I might have better physical ability if he's still fucking crocked. He could be for the Knackers yard.
I saw Lamar. Have you heard of him? That winger?
Yeah.
I heard rumors about that as well.
No, Atletico.
I wonder, is he? I heard actually. Where did I see that?
Yeah, no, I read that too. It must have been Sky Sports.
Interesting. Being honest, I've only seen highlights of him. I haven't seen any serious clips of him.
He's a beast in FIFA. I'll give him that. I think that's a backup plan to Sancho. That could be answering your question about can we get Sancho and Kane? Maybe it's Kane and Lamar.
Okay.
And Sancho is a Chelsea fan, and Chelsea they're still popping up.
Yeah, I know. So where do you think Chelsea are front runners there?
No, I still would if he moves. Is he definitely going to move?
I heard he definitely was, but then I heard recently I saw something from the Borussia side saying we've no intention to sell or something. So I don't know. They could just be saying that though.
Yeah, the Germans are tricky, you know. But no, I would still say we're front runners, but I would be keeping an eye on that.
There's something beautiful about it as well, about him. It's like just fucking off City by coming to us and being a world beater. I'll be honest though, those big price tags, lad, they still make me nervous. They really do. Just with the experience we've had so far.
It makes me it's nervous is the wrong word. It's annoyance, boy. It's annoyance if they spend a load of money and it doesn't work out. It's just like I hate looking back on Falco, Di Maria. Did they get Falco on a loan for free, or was that a 30 million loan or something? Yeah,
it was a loan, but there was a lot of money involved.
It's just depressing to think about. Yeah, I could feed my grandkids with that money.
2 more players so on the sell side. I think we'll do a transfer one next week. Transfers are, or whenever, they're great to talk about. We could do a full episode on it. But 2 players that we have already that I want to talk about before we talk about the end of the season is, and we can do them in whichever order you want. I want to talk about David De Gea and Paul Pogba.
What's the question?
Performance-wise in their future, I suppose.
Look, as I've said now for the 10th time, I'm going to tackle Paul first. I'm a romantic. We all, I think, would you agree with this statement? All of us would love if Paul loved to play for United.
Yeah, I agree with that statement.
If he doesn't, look, simply put, if he doesn't want to be there, I want him to go. I feel like, and I thought this would happen. I remember having a conversation with Brian Murphy at your residence. I won't give out the address, but at your Irish domicile. When was this? When was the last time I saw him? It was in the living room, probably a couple of months back. We were having an argument, and he said Paul's going to leave. And I was saying I don't think he will. And I thought it was building up to that. And now there was another report in the papers today that Woodward is talking to the agent. What's he called? Mino Raiola? How do you pronounce it?
Mino Raiola, yeah.
Mino Raiola. Crayola
Raiola, like that.
Who was that?
You came up with that, Crayola Raiola.
Yeah, but who was it for? He will be watching. I'm linking this.
Jesse Lingard, when Jesse Lingard went under, maybe?
No, it was fucking someone in the fantasy league.
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyway, report came out today that Woodward's talking to the agent. So it seems like it's building up. Now, last week that was there too. And in between last week and that report in the paper today, it came back that Juventus are in for him again. But then that report came out today. So I do feel like it's building up to him staying. And Oli obviously last week said that he's going to be there next season. But Oli, you know, he's a nice guy.
Full opinion on David too.
Lad, we've 2 goals in the last 12 games let in. I think we might be getting ahead of ourselves with the David De Gea shit. I know he was at fault
for a second, William.
Say that again?
I'm going to have to step out.
For what? Toilet
break.
Are you able to pause it?
I'd say we'll be able to edit it afterwards, but if not, I'm going to put you on full screen to talk about David.
Yeah, go on.
All right.
Right, so David De Gea, I think it's a bit unfair, all the criticism he's been getting. 2 goals in the last 12 games. I haven't watched Sheffield United enough or at all, really, to be honest. The only time I've watched them was the 3-3 game against United. So this Dean Henderson fella character, I'm not too familiar with him. By all accounts, he is this guy pottering in the background. He needs to hurry up and get his business done. I'm not familiar with Dean Henderson. By all accounts, he is on his way to be the next England #1. It's a very tricky situation, but I do think David De Gea is a top class keeper. I also think Romero behind him is a top class keeper. So I'd be very reluctant to let David De Gea leave the building. Again, he's been linked away with Madrid a lot in the past. I haven't heard anything about that recently. As long as he's happy to play for Man United, I'm extremely happy to have him there. And as long as he's happy to play for United, if we have to cash in on this Henderson fella, or Chelsea are in for him, and one other team that I can't remember. But if we have to cash in on him, I might do it to keep David De Gea there, because I do love David De Gea.
David De Gea, fair enough.
Did you hear that? Dean Henderson is your man's name at Sheffield, yeah?
Yeah. So on Henderson, I think that's... Okay, I'm going to go back to Paul first. Paul, from my point of view, and in a year's time, could look very foolish, but just get rid of it.
Why would you look foolish for that?
Because he could come back. Like when he came back at the end of, was it last season? He got like all those goals and assists, and I was loving him. And I agree with you.
I don't think you'd look foolish, though. I think it's very justified if you take up the position of get fucking rid of him.
I think just call it quits. I hate the agent. I'm sure you touched on that. I don't know if you did or not. You made the point a couple of weeks ago. I think you said you heard Gary Neville saying that United shouldn't have just not been. Yeah, and you said it made you really happy or excited to hear that, and I'd second that. So I'm just tired of the Paul thing, and I want players like the Odion and the Bruno coming in. Like that's the kind of players I want. And I think Bruno's world class so far anyway. Odion is obviously on a different kind of a level, but you need those players too. I want players who want to play for United. 100%. I love it, and it's just what I look for. Like obviously, you're never probably going to get to the Keane days again, where and like the class 99 and all that, where they're just like grew up, came through the academy. Like I'm not being unrealistic or anything, but I still want players, no matter where they're from, to love playing for United, to love getting paid 100 grand, 200 grand a week to play for United, and none of the bullshit. Like, and then I think even as a fan, you put up with more as well. But Pogba's done things that are on the football pitch. Like he's amazing. His first game when we had him and Zlatan playing against Leicester, I think. That first game of the season, and just watching him play, I was like, oh my days. That is like he was just different level. But I'm sick of it now. And back to what you said, a happy Paul Pogba. Like I want that at United, because I think a perfectly settled Paul Pogba is, like I said, he's unreal. He's unreal. But like seeing I think even seeing like all the dabbing stuff and the social media stuff just makes it harder again. Then when all the bad stuff happens on the side of it, like it's just really tough for me to get past that.
You're saying the dabbing thing was bad?
No, I love happiness and all that. Like I want to love it. I think it's great. I think Gary Neville says that a lot as well, that players need to show more and more social stuff. Like I've no problem with it. I love seeing people happy, and I want lads dancing and everything playing for United. But like when they're not performing on the pitch or whatever, it's absolutely sickening. Like it's sickening to see that.
We touched on this earlier. Who is the best player at Man United Football Club
right now?
Blank team, best player.
But you're talking not all time.
Bruno, Pogba.
You're talking about the team now, like you're not talking all time.
Team now, yeah.
My favourite or best baller?
Best baller. But that like best baller, like you can say defender as well.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, didn't mean to get hung up on the term baller. That's a good question, lad. I'm gonna say I think it's too soon to say Bruno. Okay, so I'm not gonna say Bruno, but I'm gonna say Rashford. And I think he just gets there because of the attitude ahead of Paul.
So you're saying Paul is ahead of Bruno?
No, I'd probably say Bruno, lad, but I just don't want to seem like he's only been here 2 months. I
still think Paul Pogba on his day, and I get the argument about on his day, the masses, Jack. I'm going to have to familiarize myself with the masses again. They're a tricky bunch. On his day, I think he is he's world class. Like, he's the best player at the club.
The way I thought about that was I actually thought of all those players. I thought of Bruno, Rashford, and Pogba all going to either Real Madrid or Barcelona, dominating in La Liga. And I think Paul and Rashford would both fucking clean up at one of those clubs. And I just pick Rashford because of the goal impact he had. I just think he'd get way more goals. Obviously, because he's a striker, so there's a bit of bias there. But that's why I thought of that question when you asked it.
I'd love if Paul Pogba wanted to stay. I'd love if he wanted to stay and he fired the agent. Oof.
So right now, debt in your savings, is Paul Pogba playing next year?
Oh, fucking hell. My savings. That's actually it. Is he playing next year? I'm going to say, yeah, he is.
I'd probably bet yeah as well.
Because we still have to get the whole, once it starts up again, the whole, Bruno and Paul thing. We still have to go through that phase. We've only talked about it so far.
It could be amazing, like, but yeah, there's so much under the bridge now for me.
I think Paul as well, though. Like, Paul needs to be loved, like, as in, and I guess this is the same for anyone. Like, if people are cursing you out of it, you're not going to want to stay there. So, Paul, you have a road dog in me, but I have your back. I will say that. Glad if we got Paul Pogba on this fucking podcast.
Then we had the David De Gea debate, and we had this. And we can disagree on the specifics. I think we did a bit looking back on it, but as I remember the argument, it was at the time where David was still David, and there was talk. It was before he signed the contract, and it was talks of selling him. And I thought we should get rid and get the money. Basically, I'm oversimplifying the argument now, and you at the time thought we should keep him, and thought I was being ridiculous. And my premise of the argument, whether you agreed or disagree, was that the money we'd get and the drop off and keep, like, I didn't think the drop off and keeper would be that stark, which is a controversial thing to say given the amount of trouble we've had historically replacing great keepers. I appreciate that, but I thought we should sell him at the time, and I love David, but like he was amazing for 5 years. He's amazing. I don't want to use past tense. He's a goal. He's just gone through a bit of a rough patch, of course. But
again, 2 goals in the last 12 games.
Yeah. One of those goals was against Everton, though.
That's 10 clean sheets. Romero's in for some of them too.
That's
not.
So I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting debate at the time. And still, because there's rumors about selling them now. I've seen things. But
I've seen more like rumors saying we're going to cash in on your man.
On who?
Henderson.
That we're going to cash in and we're going to sell him.
Mm-hmm.
In an ideal world, like I'd like to get Henderson in. I love him.
I love David. I haven't watched this Henderson dude only against United. But I love David. Like,
I do as well as a shot stopper. But there's something about a keeper.
And do you get much more for David De Gea in comparison to Henderson? Do you think?
No, that's the problem. No, we don't. I don't know who'd take him. I think PSG would still take him.
Who's in goal for them?
Who's in goal for PSG? I better look up now before I make a fool of myself.
There's nothing wrong with making a fool of yourself, man.
The market for David isn't the same as it was a couple of years ago. Everyone is in from then. Keylor Navas, it says here, is the first choice keeper, and there's Sergio Rico.
Is that the guy who was at Madrid?
Yeah.
Scary looking fucker.
He's an unusual looking man, yeah.
Unusual is a good word.
Is Chesney the first choice keeper at Juventus? Okay, I think they'd be interested too. I'm not thinking even money wise anymore. Like, there's something about Henderson. There's something about a big keeper I love. I remember when Lindegaard came in. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He had a little patch. I loved him just because he was big. I just love it.
He was keeping the hair out of the team.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember signing him on FIFA as well. I loved him. I signed him as my first choice keeper for Newcastle in a FIFA career years ago.
Do you remember Kenny Dalglish's daughter asked Ferguson that question about Lindegaard's in goal for this game. Is that because of David De Gea's recent performances? Kenny Dalglish's daughter.
What did he say?
ESPN. He was like, no, David was in goal for the last game, so we wanted to put Anders in tonight. And then she's like, okay. And then he paused and he couldn't hold it. And he was like, you people with your stories, yeah, go on.
So yeah, I'd love Henderson, but I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't like David's on 300, a massive contract now again. I think there's something about it. I just don't like the massive contracts a bit. I don't know what it is.
Just bear in mind, you're not paying it, no lad.
True, that is true.
And he's not been a boss, as in he deserves those contracts,
Yeah. No, I think at the time, when he signed the contract, I thought there were signs that he was after dropping off just a little bit, and I didn't agree with the contract at the time. I actually really didn't. I remember that. But he has been world class for us. He has been absolutely world class, amazing. Lad, I'm very excited actually to do a whole transfer podcast. Lad, we're going to bash these out. The next thing I think we should finish with looking at the league table whenever the league resumes, what you're kind of thinking for the end of the year, what success looks like for you, and then a quick synopsis on Mr. Solskjaer and see what we think is going to happen going forward. So I'm going to bring up the table there if I can. I was working earlier. Boom.
Get it up, pause.
That worked nicely. Can I go full screen with that? There we go. This way. So tell me, fifth. No, I was saying that if Sheffield win their game in hand, they go a point ahead of us. But
could you zoom in another small bit, lad? You'll strain our fucking eyes.
I was thinking that. That's zooming the screen. I was wondering, can you make this full screen at all?
Yeah, you can. It's the last one.
Oh, this one. Just make it full screen there.
Right, can you zoom, no?
No.
Here, we'll get over it.
Open it up in a tab yourself if you want. Just type in Premier League table.
No. Look, I'm a
so I said Sheffield jump ahead of us. But yeah, sitting in fifth now. It's firstly, okay. My first question is: are we working? Do you think City will be in the Champions League next year?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I have a sad feeling they might be, lad, and then that means we have to win the Europa League.
I can picture it's 2 years they're banned for, is it?
Yeah.
I think they might drop the second year.
Yeah, maybe.
Even though this fucking virus has probably worked to their advantage now with the appeal. But
so we got 9 games left. Where do you think we're finishing, lad? Think we can catch Chelsea?
Yeah, I definitely think we can catch them. I definitely think they can not be caught as well. But I think we will catch them.
Politician statement ever. The
one thing about me is I'm not a politician, man. Don't say that on air.
Yeah, but saying that they definitely can be caught. But I can definitely see them not being caught as well. Come on, you can't expect me not to pick up on that.
Philosophical, really.
I have a feeling, look at it now, that I think we'll get fourth. I hope we get fourth. That'd be so beautiful if we could finish fourth. You pair that then with an FA Cup or a UEFA Cup?
FA Cup, lad. Oof.
That's looking very, very good, lad.
It is, yeah, definitely. Do you think the season has to finish?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, the season has to finish. Or you can't. I was going to say, I think you either finish the season or you void it. I don't think you can just take a snapshot now and end the season like that. I don't think that's fair. You can't do that.
You think voiding it is?
I think voiding it is fairer than that, but I think voiding it's completely unfair as well. Imagine being a Liverpool fan, lad, and the season gets voided. That is just beyond sickening. It's amazing. Then obviously it's amazing. United fans
fucking
live it up, but that is. I don't think you can void the season. And obviously on the other, you're just going down the line of promotion and everything. How heartbreaking that would be for Leeds and West Brom, and they'd have to do it all again next year. The money and stuff that's involved in that. I think they will finish the season. So they've postponed the Euros. I think we had this argument as well. I think they're just going to have to suck it up and do whether it be finish the season in 2 weeks or in a month or something, and just play a load of games. And I think Gary Neville described it on like Sky Sports did a podcast yesterday or the day before, and he described it as a festival of football. That'd be amazing. Like it'd be like Boxing Day period, as the English call it, Stephen's Day. It'd be like that on crack, where you're just doing that for 2 weeks. Just the amount of games would be crazy. And imagine that
would be sick.
Imagine the promotions and everything Sky would do around that.
Champions League in between it. Oof.
Yeah.
But no, a medical look. Everyone's a medical expert on this shit. I get it. But someone did come out today from the NHS and say that it's wishful thinking for them to expect to play football before October.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that hurts. I think you just got to push everything back. I know that's easier said than done. No, just push everything back. But I think that's the only way you can do it. I think that's what'll end up happening. And even if you, I know this is ridiculous as well. Even if you play for a bit and finish off for the end of the year, or whatever, and then you start a new season next January, and even if you have to play half a season, as in the full season to be, 19 games. I think that's fairer because everyone knows up front what they're signing up for. You know, I think that'd obviously be some people like unfair, where you only play one home game and that'd just be random against whatever team you played against where. And some teams would have 10 home games and 9 away games and vice versa. But I think at least then you know up front it's half a season, everyone's playing the same game and they know the rules they're playing. So I just think that whatever point that we kick off again, I hope it's not before October, but hey, who knows? I think that you just have to finish it and push everything back on the other side.
I think they will finish it. I don't think anyone will go for the null and void and shit like that.
Okay, my next question. So we'll finish talking about Ole just over an hour. I'll be happy. So my first question is, does Ole's job depend on...
Wait. Question for you, actually. It's been bugging me the whole thing.
Okay, go on.
Autograph or picture?
Picture. You?
Picture.
Now, the two questions I have are, one question is, does Ole's job depend on how this season finishes? And my second question is, what are your personal thoughts on Ole and hopes? Because I think you got some interesting insights there. So first question, does it depend on how the season finishes? His job? Obviously, the big name out there is Pochettino.
Yeah, look, if it keeps going the way it's going and they keep up this form, he's definitely going to be there next season.
And do you think that's right?
I think that is right, yeah. Now, a couple of weeks ago, before this good period started, I was saying to people that I don't think he's the guy at all. I wouldn't say I think he's the guy now, like the long-term guy, but I'm leaning towards that. And if he keeps this up, but you could say that for any manager, like if they keep it up, it's will he keep it up? He has the money to go do it. I think the players like him. Again, it's like I've said, we've seen these patches before. If he goes through another bad patch, I think it's done. That's what I would say. Before you start, is a bad patch, I'm asking you this question. If we don't get Champions League and we don't win a trophy, I'll throw it back at you. If we don't get Champions League and we don't win FA Cup or the Europa League, obviously, do you get rid of him?
No, I don't. No, I don't. No. No, I think you got to see it through. Whatever that means. I think it's another year in his contract, is it? And again, it is hard for us. We're both logical men or whatever, but like we've been through Ferguson, so we like idealize over having this father figure for 30 years or whatever, like, and that's unrealistic probably to ever expect again.
Sugar daddy.
No matter how romantic it is. And I think everyone, you included, we want Ole to be that. Like, obviously, everyone wants to be successful, but we would love Ole to be the guy. I think that's a fair statement, is it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if it's up, Ole will be the next Ferguson. Like, you know, a lot of managers don't want to be that. Like, Ole would definitely stay there for the next 30 years. Like, Gallo too, probably playing striker for
him. But you also made the point, and this was going through the bad patch. And again, like, I would say we're far more rational, logical than a lot of fans. Like, and we try not to be fickle, but at the same time, like, it's a results-based business. So when you're going through a bad patch, you're going to be more negative, and a good patch, you're going to be more positive. As in, if we did this podcast 2 months ago, it had a completely different feel to it.
There would have been rope in it.
You made the point then, and I think it still holds some truth now, that you just don't see him as the guy. Like, you just didn't think
that was then, though. Like,
yeah.
But again, I'm under the spell of this. Like that, I keep saying it, but it's like 29 goals scored and 2 goals conceded.
And he's shown. You know what I love? He's given out as well. Just because he's smiley doesn't mean, you know. I think people. It annoys me as well. And it's an easy kind of impression to get, but that he's just a happy-go-lucky yes man or whatever. But like, we can all be happy and smiley in front of the camera here, like you and me are interviewing each other. Like, but behind the scenes, you know, we can shout and get stuff done as well.
Yeah, but there isn't a lot of presence there compared to other managers. Like, that's not something behind the scenes. Like, that's something you can just see. Like,
I don't know, lad, because I was thinking, if I was in that position, all right, I think I'd be unbelievably cordial to the. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You want to see a bit more. Like, Jurgen Klopp is the same, but when he's pissed off, you can see it a bit more, I think.
Yeah, but there's a difference between Klopp being cordial to the media, and if Klopp doesn't like something, he can be cordial, but you can tell he's fucking fuming.
But I've seen Ole fuming a few times.
He's been uncomfortable when he fumes.
But some people show anger differently, like.
Yeah, but I would say that's presence. Like, there's no, I don't like confrontation. Like, there's no way you're saying he has the presence of Sir Alex Ferguson behind the scenes.
Nah, no, not yet. But I think he. Oh, look, Anyway, I don't think we should get rid of him. I've also heard it was actually Stephen Howson, United. He's in
who?
Stephen Howson. He'd be a rival of ours now, William, with the United podcast.
What's his podcast called?
I actually don't know the name of it. The Stretford Paddock is something they're on, but I have another name for the other one.
Old Trafford on Tap, yeah, that's the United podcast. You need to
great name. But he also does make the point again, because Pochettino is the name, and I was actually, there's something very attractive about Pochettino being your manager, but he makes the point he's won absolutely nothing ever.
It's Spurs, like.
Still though, they're a great team. I think it was a good point when he made it. So yeah, I don't want to get rid of Ole.
What's his name again?
Mr. Stephen Howson. You would have similar beards actually. You should look him up. Can
you do full screen on my beard?
Can it, sir?
It's a money shot. Oh, you're actually doing it?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Not too bad. There's your full screen now. Back to this. So I think I'm optimistic for the end of the season. And lad, to be honest, this pause has probably hurt us because we're in such a good flow. But at the same time, does that mean you're going to get Pogba back and Bruno playing for the end of the season? We might see something going forward that you're idolizing. Like, that could be that's a tantalizing prospect, lad, the two of them.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is, man. But again, I'm hopeful right now. I'm very hopeful. And as you said, we want Ole to succeed.
We do. Ole's at the wheel. I think we should finish on that. Folks, it's been a pleasure. We're going to sign off. I don't like the fact that it reversed our screen positions after I came back on screen. But look, we'll get used to it. William, a pleasure. I'll see you next time. I'll see you next time.
Old Trafford on Tap, first ever episode. Thanks so much for listening.
Peace.